Hey everyone, welcome to Quarantine Theater Company. We have a great group here tonight and we're going to read another Oscar-nominated screenplay, The Talented Mr. Ripley, tonight by Anthony Minghella. And we have a great cast. I will be reading as Ripley tonight. Anne will be reading as Marge. Jennifer will be reading as Meredith. Logan will be Dickie tonight. George is going to be Freddie Miles. And Paul will be Peter Smith Kingsley, and Cate will be Silvana, and everybody else is playing other stuff as well as their main characters. And most importantly, the biggest job of all, we have our scene description, which is Travis tonight. And so that's all rooting for you, Travis. And it should be a fun night. It's a pretty fast script, so let's get to it.
The Talented Mr. Ripley, screenplay by Anthony Minghella and based on the novel by Patricia Highsmith, November 1st, 1999. It's a long time ago. Prologue. Interior Ripley's cabin evening. Fade up on Ripley, as in the final scene of the film, sitting desolate in a ship cabin. The camera rotates around his face, which begins in a light and ends in
if I could just go back, if I could just rub everything out, starting with myself, starting with borrowing a jacket.
Exterior Central Park West Terrace, early evening. Ripley is at the piano, accompanying Fran, a young soprano. Credits begin.
As such fleeting paradise, such innocent delight, to love, be loved, a lullaby. In silence.
The song finishes applause. Woo, you! They're the entertainment at a cocktail party to celebrate a silver wedding anniversary. Some partygoers congratulate Fran on her performance. A distinguished-looking man pushing his wife in a wheelchair approaches Ripley, offers his hand.
Most enjoyable. Herbert Greenleaf.
Tom Ripley. Thank you, sir.
I see you're at Princeton. Then you'll most likely know our son, Dickie Greenleaf.
Wouldn't help noticing your jacket.
Yes.
Class of 56.
How is Dickie?
Interior elevator opening out into lobby, early evening. Fran, Ripley, Mr. and Mrs. Greenleaf and others emerge from an elevator. Emily talks to Fran, Herbert to Ripley.
I hope you'll come and see us.
That's very kind.
Both of you.
Of course, Dickie's idea of music is jazz. He has a saxophone. To my ear, jazz is just noise, just an insolent noise.
I'm a big fan of preform jazz myself. Exterior Central West, early evening. Ripley shakes his hands with Herbert Greenleaf as he gets into his Rolls Royce. Yeah, they are making an appointment. Ripley crosses the street to Fran, pecks her cheek. She hands him his share of their fee.
Gotta run, I'm so late. Thanks for the jacket.
Sure. Thanks for filling in for me.
From Greenleaf's point of view, he sees a couple embracing.
Darling couple, aren't they?
Yes, an exceptional young man.
From another vantage point, Ripley hurries on as Fran gets into her boyfriend's car. A piano quartet starts up. Exterior theater evening. Ripley runs past the droves arriving concert goers and heads for the theater. Music continues. Interior men's room, theater night. The interval, a thick mass of men in tuxedos, grooming themselves at the basins. Yeah, groom and woo. Ripley turns on faucets, offers towels, brushes off dandruff. Men talk over, around, and through, put coins in a bowl. Interior, a box at the theater night. The concert continues. Ripley peers through the curtain at the performance. A naughty woman in the box turns around and he closes the curtain. Ooh, ooh. Interior backstage, 1:30 a.m. An empty auditorium. Ripley plays back in the blue ghost light. A caretaker emerges from his round, flips on the house lights. Ripley jerks up from his plane. Oh, that's what he jerks up from. Waves apologetically.
Sorry. I know. Sorry.
Exterior Greenleaf Shipyards, Brooklyn Day. Greenleaf and Ripley walk through one of the dry docks. A huge void in the shape of a boat, swarming with workers preparing the shell of a new liner. If Central Park is where the money is spent, this is clearly where it's made, and a lot of it. Workers nod differently to the men with his name over the buildings behind them.
Mongiabello, tiny place south of Naples. Marge, the young lady is supposedly writing some kind of book. God knows what he does. By all accounts, they spend the whole time on the beach or his sailboat. That's my son's talent, spending his allowance.
Ripley in his green corduroy jacket. Yeah, corduroy. Ooh. The very model of a sober young man listens attentively.
Could you ever conceive of going to Italy, Tom? Persuade my son to come home? I'd pay you. I'd pay you $1,000.
I've always wanted to go to Europe, sir.
Good. Now you can go for a reason.
Interior Ripley's apartment, New York day. A vinyl record revolves in a close-up, and an exuberant and mysterious voices get seen. Wild, then the sound slides, electric slide, into a raucous big band jazz number. Dizzy's Gillespie's the champ. A hand ejects the record. When the camera finds the man's face, it is blindfolded. Ooh, we're having that kind of fun. He's hot. He's wearing an undershirt. He's trying to identify the recording.
I don't know. Count Basie? Duke Ellington. I don't know. Count Basie.
The man pulls off the blindfold, examines the record cover of the disc he's been trying to learn. Needs to put on glasses to do so. Is irritated by his mistake. He ejects the record. Eject. A pile of other jazz records are strewn across a cluttered table, which includes classical sheet music and a paper keyboard. One hand idly mines at the key, something that I couldn't do. Interior Ripley's apartment day. Another song for Ripley to identify is the gramophone. Yeah, ooh. Jet markers, My Funny Valentines. Signs everywhere of packing a suitcase, books about Italy. Ripley paces in this basement room, which is a bathroom, kitchen, living room, and bedroom all in one. But if it was in LA, it'd be the price of, like, who knows? Tiny, squalid and sad. The windows give onto the bars and a wall.
I don't even know if this is a man or a woman.
There's a violent row going on in the room above his head. He flinch. Interior Ripley's apartment day. Ripley shining his shoes, packing almost done, is testing himself on another piece of music. Free jazz saxophone. Yeah. Charlie Baker, K.O.K.O. Or Coco. He listens hard, recognizes the track.
Hey, that's Charlie Parker. Bird.
He skips over the gramophone, checks the record. He's right. He smiles. Interior Ripley's apartment day. Ripley studies an old photograph of Dickie Greenleaf in a Princeton yearbook. Yeah, Princeton. He shoves the book in a bag, picks up his suitcase, and takes a last look around the dingy apartment before closing the door behind him. Exterior Ripley's apartment day. Ripley hauls his luggage up the stairs and into the sunlight. He is met at the top of the stairs by Greenleaf's chauffeur.
Here, I'll take that.
Thanks. That $1,000 should, oh, that's caretaker.
That $1,000 should come in handy.
Yes, sir.
I'll get that.
Thanks.
Sir, you're gonna have a great trip. Mr. Greenleaf is personal friends with the Connard people.
Interior Herbert Greenleaf's car day. Ripley's luxuriates in the back of the Greenleaf limousine. He opens up an envelope he's carrying with Greenleaf stationery inside a first-class Connard ticket, which normally that's French. Some travelers' checks and dollars.
I can tell you, the Greenleaf name opens a lot of doors.
Exterior Queen Mary Manhattan skyline day. The liner leaves New York, but you can see it in Long Beach. En route to Italy. End credits. Interior Naples Harbor Custom and Immigration Hall in Italy. Brilliant sunshine. The Queen Mary has just docked. Passengers can be seen disembarking through the huge windows coming from the first class gangways. They are greeted, escorted, fussed over the hall. Their bags had been unloaded ahead of them and are now being sorted in the hall under the initials of their owners. Stands with the letters of the alphabet chalked on them are dotted about, and trunks and suitcases of all shapes and sizes form small hills around them. Ripley enters and an Italian porter approaches, wants his name. Ripley, he repeats in the hub, and joins the crowd around the letter R for are you seriously going to join me in the letter R? A striking young woman, Meredith, is nearby. She notices him. Ripley proceeds to the customs area where he's held in a line as a large suitcase is opened and searched. Meredith catches up with him, her luggage a mountain next to his.
What's your secret?
Excuse me?
No, it's just, you are American, aren't you? No, I have so much luggage and you're, streamlined. It's humiliating.
Ripley shrugs. Now they're opening a second case of the passenger ahead. Hard not to converse.
I'm Meredith, by the way. Meredith Randall.
Dickie Greenleaf. Hello.
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 It's me, Meredith. Thank you so much for recognizing this. Now, I'm going to say, you're not of the ship in Greenleafs because we're just going to skip over that now because I'm a frigid bitch today.
Trying
Cool.
not to be.
Yes, we are.
Trying to jump ship.
Well, so now, did they put your suitcase in the wrong pile? It's just upstairs. Weren't you under the R stand? I thought I saw you there.
My father wants me in New York. He builds boats. I would rather sail them. I travel under my mother's name.
Which is?
Emily. Just kidding.
The funny thing is, I'm not Randall either. I'm Logue.
As in the
textile Logues. Trying to shrug off the dress. I travel under my mother's name too.
Randall.
Right.
They've arrived at a crossroads on the stairs. Graphic signs explain the choices. One way for buses, taxis, and exits. The others for trains. Roma, Venezia, Milano. They're going in different directions.
So, partners in disguise? Bye.
Exterior, coastal road from Naples, late afternoon. A bus rolls around a coastal road cut into the side of a cliff, mountain above, blue sea below. Interior, bus, late afternoon. Ripley sits surrounded by teeming life. The bus slows at a new town. People get off. Interior, exterior, bus arrives. Montebello, late night. Later the day ending, Ripley looks at as they continue on their journey, arriving at a small fishing port. They wind down through a square, passing the local church. Exterior, Montebello, Fisherman's Wharf, late day. And then the bus is in the heart of a wharf. On one side, there's evidence of the fisherman's life, nets, old men working. Opposite, there's a tiny cafe spilling out onto the street. Young guys hang out, play table football. I think that's called table football. Lounge on their Vespas, the driver chats.
Mangiabello.
Ripley gets out, lugging his suitcases as the bus continues on his way. He looks around him. He feels completely foreign. Exterior, Merriman Hotel, boat at sea morning. A sailboat has slid into view, now drops anchor, drops the sails. A couple dive in and swim toward shore. All of this is from the point of view of Ripley, who's watching the events through binoculars from his tiny balcony in the Miramar Hotel. An Italian vocabulary book is perched on his knees, and during this, he continues his study, mounting the Italian books. So you are on mute.
La fidanza en la ha una faccia. The fiancé has a face. La fidanzata e Marge.
Her partner, Diggy Greenleaf, dives too. They're brown, beautiful, perfect. Ripley notices the name of the boat. Bird.
Questo alla mia faccia.
Faccia, face, and Italian. The golden couple emerge from the sea. Dickie shakes off the water, grins.
This is my face.
He double checks himself with the vocabulary book.
Questa è la mia faccia. Questa è la faccia di Dickie.
Yes, it does look nice. Exterior, Montebello Day. Ripley emerges from one of the sea cabins and stands on the edge of the sand on a wooden walkway. He's wearing a tiny lime green bathing suit. He loathes the beaches. A couple of boys turn lanically and watch him. Ripley puts on his shoes and scurries to the sea. He feels ridiculous. His skin alabaster against the brown bodies. Finally, the shame is too great, and he pulls off his shoes and dashes to the water, where he luxuriates in the coolness of it before wading out of the sea and walking straight up to Dickie.
Dickie Greenleaf?
Dickie squints at Ripley, who holds his shoes lamely.
Who's this?
It's Tom. Tom Ripley. We were at Princeton together.
Okay. And did we know each other?
Well, I knew you, so I suppose you must have known me.
Princeton is like a fog. America's like a fog. This is Marge Sherwood. Tom, but sorry, what was it?
Ripley. Hello. How do you do?
How do you do?
So what are you doing in Mungie?
Nothing. Nothing much. Passing through.
Passing through. You're so white. Did you ever see a girl so white, Margie? Gray, actually.
It's just an undercoat.
Say again?
You know, a primer.
That's funny.
You should come and have lunch with us before you go. Dickie?
Sure, anytime.
And be careful in this sun. Your gray's in danger of turning a little pink.
Thanks. Well, a coincidence.
Exterior, Montebello, early morning, another day. Church bells are ringing. Ding, ding, church bells, ding. Dickie, dressed in shorts, comes bumping onto the cobbled path towards the square on his motor scooter. He stops by a steep flight of stairs. Ripley, a book in hand, unseen, walking up a hill, catches all this and intrigued watches as the young Italian beauty Silvana has a spiky, then climbs on the scooter behind him.
I've been looking for you everywhere.
Today you're looking for me. And where have you been the rest of the week, pig? With your American girl? I hate you, you know.
What?
I hate you.
And Ripley watches them as they rattle down the hill towards the sea. Exterior, Marge's house, afternoon. Dickie appears in Marge's garden, the sea behind his head. Marge is seen at her outside table, surrounded by some of the remnants of lunch. Dickie's sheepish showered late.
Sorry. I know I'm late. I must whine.
Did you forget where I live? It's 4 o'clock.
I just woke up. Sorry.
You just woke up.
Oh, Fausto and I, look, we took the boat out, we were fishing, and then it was dawn and we caught absolutely nothing.
Well, we ate everything without you.
We?
Yes, Tom Ripley's here.
Who? Oh, Tom. Hello, how are you? I thought you disappeared. We were going to send out a search party.
Nope, still here.
Tom was telling me about his trip over. Made me laugh so much I got a nosebleed.
Is that good?
Shut up.
Marge flicks him with a napkin. They start to wrestle, excluding Tom.
I'm intruding.
Can you mix a martini?
Sure.
Nope, I'll do it. I make a fabulous martini.
Everyone should have one talent. What's yours?
Forging signatures, telling lies, impersonating practically anybody.
That's 3. Nobody should have more than one. Okay, do an impression.
Now? Okay, well, wait a minute. Talent. The only talent my son has is for cashing his allowance.
What's this?
I like to sail, believe me. I love to sail. Instead, I make boats and other people sail them.
Stop, it's too much. Oh, you're making all the hairs on my neck stand up.
Jazz, let's face it, it's just insolent noise.
I feel like he's here. The horrible type of old bastards right here. That's brilliant. How do you know?
I met him in New York.
Marge, you gotta hear this.
What?
My father, Herbert Richard Greenleaf the First.
Pleasure to meet you. Dickie's made a fine catch. I know Emily thinks so.
What's going on?
Uncanny.
I don't get it.
Could you ever conceive of going there, Tom, and bringing him back?
What?
I'd pay you. If you would go to Italy and persuade my son to come home, I'd pay you $1,000.
Interior exterior Montebello Church and Square dusk. Christening is over. Now the whole village is pouring out of the church for the best together in Sunday's best. Girls arm in arm parade. Boy arm in arm elevate. New babies are compared and fussed over. Old people smoke, talk, shrug. Dickie is walking with Ripley, seething about his father scheming.
I'm never going back. To actually hire someone to come all the way out here to drag me back home. Gotta be insane, hasn't he?
Silvana comes out of the church arm in arm with a man, her fiancé, as part of a foursome which includes Dickie's pal, Basto. Silvana eyes flicks towards Dickie. Otherwise, there's no acknowledgement as they all greet each other. Dickie introduces Tom, then they move on.
I'm never going back.
No, I think your mother, her illness.
It's got nothing to do with my mother. She's had leukemia. This is what makes me boil about him. He wants me back. It's got nothing to do with my mother.
I don't know, Dickie. I'm just telling you what
Go back to New York or call him and tell him if you find a telephone that works and tell him wild horses couldn't drag me back to him or his shipyard.
Exterior, Dickie's house, Montebello afternoon. Ripley appears with his merger luggage at Dickie's front door. He's carrying his tote bag under his arm, the bottom which seems to be unstitched and held together only by his fingers. Marge is on the terrace. She looks down to see Tom talking with Dickie.
Hi, Tom.
Marge, Ripley's saying goodbye.
Oh, I'll come down.
Can you speak to my father?
You were right about the telephone. There are no lines. There's some problem.
Hello, Tom. You're off. What are your plans?
Back, I suppose, slowly as I can.
He goes to shake her hand. As he releases the tote bag, the seam split, and records spill to the ground, scattering. He bends down, starts gathering them up. Marge helps.
I'm sorry, what am I helping clean up?
You're helping clean up the bag spill, Marge. Have a great day.
Oh, I'm sorry, this bag's... Oh.
Dickie's delighted when he sees the jazz titles.
You like jazz?
I love jazz.
This is the best. Marge says she likes jazz, but she thinks that Glenn Miller is jazz.
You never said that.
Bird, that's jazz.
Bird! Ask me what the name of my sailboat.
I don't know. What's the name of your sailboat?
Bird!
Which is ridiculous because boats are female. Everyone knows you can't call a boat after a man.
He's not a man. He's a god.
There's a club. Well, it's not a club. It's a cellar.
It's vile.
It's vile. Don't worry. You don't have to come. It's great. You're going to love it.
Interior Jazz Club, Naples night, a cavern blue with smoke. Ooh, a surprisingly good quintet blasts out their version of Moanin'. Dickie and Ripley arrive and make their way to the table where Festo is sitting with friends. It's too noisy for conversation, but Dickie shouts, introduces, and they shake Ripley's hand. Dickie is instantly absorbed in the music. Ripley is absorbed in Dickie. An attractive Italian girl, Dahlia, comes over, kisses. Dickie pulls off his hat, puts it on. There's no room for her to sit, so she sits on Dickie's lap, smoking his cigarette. Well done. Dickie raises his eyebrow at Tom, but it's clearly no hardship. Then the band strikes up the intro to Tu Viu Fa l'Americano, it's an American song. A hit which reflects the current craze for all things American. And Festo pulls a protesting Dickie up onto the stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dickie Greenleaf, all the way from America.
Festival starts to sing. Dickie joins the chorus. Everybody claps. Dickie talks off mic to Festival.
And a big round of applause for a new friend from New York, Tom Ripley.
Ripley's mortified, but Dickie jumps off the stage and pulls him up. The song continues, and now at the chorus, it's Dickie and Ripley who have to sing. Ripley, of course, can sing well, if not confident in this arena. Soon the audience is clapping. Clap, clap, clap. Standing on tables, dancing. Dahlia, prominent.
I've bumped into an old friend from Princeton, a fellow man named Tom Ripley. He said he's going to haunt me until I agree to come back to New York with him.
Interior Dickie's house noon. Dickie in his new dressing gown is sitting at the table typing. Ripley's head emerges from behind the couch on which he has been enjoying a blissful sleep.
Good afternoon.
What time is it? Oh, God. Do you always type your letters? That should be 2 T's.
Oh, I can't write and I can't spell. That's the privilege of a first-class education. You're upstairs at the back. I think Melinda made the bed up.
This is so good of you.
Don't say it again. Now you're a double agent and you're going to string my dad along, and I was thinking we might buy a little car with the expense money he's sending you. What do you think, Marge? A little chic into with my dad's money?
Marge has appeared carrying Caprice.
You can't even drive a car. No, what we need urgently is an icebox. What do you think, Tom? Agree with me and I'll be your friend for life.
I absolutely agree with Marge.
Interior Dickie's house upstairs day. Ripley locates his room and puts down his luggage in what is a comfortable and simple room, then heads back downstairs only to be tempted by the door of Dickie's bedroom. Interior Dickie's bedroom day. Ripley explores the casual elegance of Dickie's bedroom, the Louis Vuitton chest, the closet open doors spilling out shirts, ties. On the dressing table, there are toiletries, cufflinks scattered, a silk tie. Ripley picks up the tie and walks toward the open window below, which is a terrace where lunch is being laid. Marge and Dickie are chatting. Shreds of conversation float up to Ripley.
Just be for a little while. He makes me laugh.
Hey, darling.
But you'd say if you mind.
No, I like him.
Marge, you like everybody.
I don't like you.
Well, then I'll go to your place and you can move in with Tom.
Above them, Ripley repeats these phrases, carefully testing the cadences. No, I like him. Marge, you like everybody until he's accurate as a tape recorder. Exterior terrace of Dickie's house day. Emeralda is clearing away lunch. Ripley is changed and sitting at the table with Marge. While Dickie works on the coffee, Ripley watches him, studying everything. The way he uses the espresso machine. I know the feeling of the espresso. The way he wears no socks. His pants. His rings.
Now, you know why Miss Sherwood always shows up for breakfast? It's not love. It's the coffee machine.
It's the one task Dickie can do on his own. Make coffee.
Shut up.
Oh, darling, is that for me?
No, it's for Tom, as he didn't complain.
Oh, that ring's so great. The green one?
Tom, I love you. See? I bought it for him. It's for his birthday.
It's superb.
I'd have promised, capital P, never to take it off. Otherwise, I'd have to give it to you.
Bastard. Isn't it great, Tom? I found it in Naples. I bargained about like 2 weeks.
That wasn't cheap.
Oh, it was.
I've found a birthday present for Francis. Perhaps you can help me.
Francis?
My fiance.
You're on a dark horse, Ripley. Engaged?
Your parents met her.
God, I can imagine. If only Dickie would settle down. Doesn't every parent deserve a grandchild? Never. I swear on your ring, Marge, I am never going back.
Exterior bird sailboat day. The bird is sailing off the coast of Montebello. There's a maneuver going on with the sail. Captain Dickie supervises his crew. of Marge and painfully awkward, anxious to please Ripley, Dickie goes over to help him.
I'm doing this wrong, aren't I?
You're doing great. Well, I can say it right of you. Yeah, you're doing very well.
Dubious but special honor, Tom. Crewing Dickie's boat. All right, bar's open.
Yes, please.
Could we sail to Venice?
Sure, I love Venice.
I have to go to Venice.
See Venice and die, is that right? Was it Rome? You do something and die, don't you? Okay, Venice is on the list.
And Rome.
You ski? Well, don't tell me. You're a lost cause. Well, that's the next thing to deal with. We're planning to go to Cortina at Christmas. Excellent skiing. Excellent. Yeah. Marge, Ripley can't ski. We'll have to teach him that too. Have you ever known such low class?
Tom, good thing we're not. Ooh, sorry. Good thing we're not getting married. We might have to invite him on our honeymoon.
Exterior Montebello, late day. Marge and Ripley are on a shopping expedition. They walk down the hill toward the grocery shop next to the bar in the little square. This is when you know you're going to get screwed paying with this kind of money there. Ripley has asked Marge how she and Dickie met.
Oh, God, I hated New York, that Park Avenue crowd. So I fled to Paris to work on my book. I was always going to this cafe with Jean-Jacques. And Dickie used to play a saxophone outside, and I would see him, and he would see me, and he would play My Funny Valentine. It was later that I realized he only knows about 6 songs.
They arrived at the grocery store. Alessandra, the woman who owns the store, greets them. Silvana, who's her daughter, is also there and less comfortable. She waits for Marge's order.
Buonasera, Silvana. Per favore, aranze, pane e del prosciutto.
E fici, come sempre?
Sì, come sempre. Grazie.
There you go. Silvana goes inside for the meat and bread. Marge frowns.
Anyway, then one day we go in, right? And I see Dickie. He starts playing My Funny Valentine. And then all of a sudden, he just walks into the cafe right in front of Jean-Jacques and grabs me. Now, I had never spoken to him in my life. He said, I'm going to Italy tomorrow. I want you to come with me. So I did.
At the edge of the square, there's a bocce area where men throw metal balls along a track, a dirt track, I might add, aiming to get closest to a small cue. Dickie's there playing intensely with Fusto and 2 other guys, one of whom who's seen before with Silvana. Ripley and Marge loop back towards home, taking in the bocce en route. Dickie waves, they wave back. Marge calls to him.
If you're not at my place by 7, Tom and I are running off together.
Okay.
Exterior Marge's house, early evening. Dickie and Ripley are leaving. They're fooling around. Dickie jumps on Ripley's shoulders. Marge watches from the top of the garden. Exterior Montebello Square, early evening. Dickie and Ripley still horsing about past Silvana's grocery store. Dickie dismounts, goes over to Silvana, who's tense, a little troubled. They huddled, Ripley isolated.
Did you get my message? I want to talk to you.
I want to talk to you. Smile for me.
And Dickie's already gone back to Ripley's, fending to box him, then dancing steer like down the hill. Exterior coastal road to Naples evening. Dickie and Ripley on the Vespa. Vespa. There's a steep incline where the road winds towards Naples. And as the Vespa gains speed, Ripley is happy to cling to Dickie.
You're breaking my ribs.
What?
You're breaking my ribs.
Interior Jazz Club, Naples night. Ripley's really singing, carrying the burden of My Funny Valentine in a flawless intimidation of Chet Baker. Dickie is playing some sax after a verse. There's spontaneous applause. Dickie impressed beams at Ripley. Interior Dickie's house night. A new icebox. Incongruous in pride of place in the living room casts its glow in on a delighted Dickie as he pulls out a couple of beers, handing one to Ripley, who is paging through his copy of the collected works of Shakespeare.
I could fuck this icebox. I love it so much. What are you actually doing in New York?
I played piano in a few places.
That's one job. You told me you had a lot of jobs.
A few places, that's a few jobs. Anyway, I don't want to think about New York.
The mysterious Mr. Ripley. Marge and I spend hours speculating. Cold beer. Thank you, Dad.
Copy out from here.
He hands the book to Dickie, pointing out the lines.
I love the fact that you brought Shakespeare with you and no clothes. And Melinda says you wash the same shirt out every night. Is that true?
No, I've got more than one shirt.
She can do that stuff for you. Anyway, just where's some of my things? What do you think you want? Most of it's ancient.
Now your signature. Not Dickie, your signature.
You know, without the glasses, you're not even ugly. I don't really need them because I never read. How do I look?
Like Clark Kent. Now Superman.
Diggy cuffs him. Ripley looks down at the postcard.
I know, I write like a child.
Pretty vile. See this? The S and the T, do you see? Fine, vulnerable. That's pain. That's secret pain.
Must be a deep secret because I don't know about it.
Your handwriting. Nothing more naked. See, it's quite touching nothing's quite touching the line. That's vanity.
Well, we certainly know that's true.
Interior Dickie's bedroom night. Dickie is in the bath. Ripley is dressed, sits on the stool next to the bath. They're in the middle of playing chess. The board propped on the bath tray. Ripley puts his hand on the water, checking the temperature. He turns on the faucet. Burst of hot. Ripley is absurdly happy. He pours some wine.
Do you have any brothers?
No, no brothers, no sisters.
Me neither. Nor does Marge. All only children. What does that mean?
Means we never shared a bath. I'm cold. Can I get in?
No.
I didn't mean with you in it.
Okay, you get in. I'm like a prune anyway.
He gets out, walks back to Ripley, who doesn't turn around, but Dickie's reflected in the mirror. Ripley looks, then Dickie turns, holds his look momentarily before flicking him with his towel. Ouch. Interior, exterior, American Express office, Naples Day. An official is studying Dickie's passport photograph. It's not a recent picture. The official looks suspicious. Dickie is used to it.
Oh, it's me. It's an old picture. Every time. Is it you? It doesn't look like you.
He's singing for his allowance. He has a smart document case with his initials prominently embossed. Ripley watches him sign and collect a large wad of notes.
Letters, Greenleaf, and for Ripley.
Ripley collects and studied his mail. As they walk outside, he holds up one letter to Dickie.
Fran, I miss you. Where are you coming home? Stop telling me what a great time you're having. How you love Dickie and Marge. And and this one, I think is your dad.
Interior train to Rome. Ripley sits reading the letter from Herbert Greenleaf. He frowns, stops reading, looks out of the window.
What does he say?
He's getting impatient. He wants me to reassure you'll be home by Thanksgiving.
Well, you've got to get a new jacket. Really, you must be sick of the same clothes. I'm sick of seeing you in them.
I can't keep spending your father's money.
Oh, love, how responsible you are. Look, my dad should make you chief accountant or something. Look, let me buy you a jacket. There's a great place when we get to Rome. Battistone.
Ripley loves the idea and melts the word Battistone.
Andiamo a Roma. We're taking Tom to Roma.
Exterior, Akari's Caf, Piazza Navona, Rome, Day. Ripley and Dickie sit outside a cafe in the Piazza Navona. Very smart. very sophisticated, very young crowd. There are already several empty coffee cups, but in Rome, you can just sit there forever. And a half-empty bottle of Frascati, I don't know, but it's something. Ripley has his guidebook out and is incredibly impatient. Dickie, meanwhile, has stretched out for the duration.
Where do we find a Carosa for the forum? Or can we hire any of them?
Relax.
It's just, there's so much to do in a single day.
Relax. The most important question is where to eat. So Freddie made a reservation.
Freddie?
Freddie Miles. Oh, he's organizing the Cortina skiing trip.
Ripley hates the idea of having this special day invaded. A horn makes him look up as Freddie Miles illegally parks his open-top sports car opposite the calf. You could call it a Ferrari, dude. Sees Dickie and bustles over. He's a heavy-set American with a reddish crew cut. Ripley finds him disgusting to look at. Dickie is delighted.
Federico!
Ciao bello. Oh, don't you want to fuck every woman you see just once?
They kiss cheeks, continental style.
This is Tom Ripley, Freddie Miles.
Hey, if I'm late, think what her husband's saying.
He fills Dickie's glass with wine and drinks it standing up.
So let's go. I got us a table outside of Fabrizio's.
And Dickie's up, leaving Ripley to pick up all the tiny checks to work out the bill and pay it.
I tell you, I am so cabin crazy with Monty.
Freddie and Diggy link arms Italian style and cross the street to Freddie's car.
I know, I was there. Tommy, it's SRO, 2-seater, standing room only. Chop, chop, Tommy.
Ripley abandoned goes over. There's no room in the car. He has to crouch in the rear.
You're going to have to sit between us, but don't put your shoes on the seat. You know what I mean? Put them on top of the other, okay?
Interior jazz record store, late afternoon. This record store is hidden away down a cobbled alley and stuffed with the trendiness Romans, all of whom rifle the stacks under a fog of cigarette smoke. There are 2 listening booths, of which has Freddie and Dickie crammed into it, sharing a set of headphones. Ripley stands outside the booth, holding both of their jackets like a manservant, while inside and behind the glass doors they chat animatedly. He looks longingly at the street where the light is fading. Dickie catches his hangdog expression, hangdog, yeah, bro, and pushes open the accommodation doors.
Look, Tom, we've got to go to a club and meet some friends of Freddie's. The best thing is, if you want to be a tourist, grab a cab and we can meet up at the railway station.
What club?
Freddie's arranged with some of his skiing crowd. Look, come if you want, but I thought you wanted to see the forum.
I did, and then maybe get the jacket and what have you.
Dick, you got to hear this.
Listen, just take one of mine and we get back. Don't worry about it. I did the forum with Marge, and frankly, once is enough in anyone's lifetime. Ciao. Have fun.
Ripley heads to the door, then comes back, raps on the booth. Dickie pushes it open.
You said to make sure you didn't miss the train. It leaves at 8.
Exterior, the Capitol, late afternoon. Ripley hikes up Michelangelo's Aracoli steps. Then he's looking down from the Capitorio at the forum below. He's walking by the oversized fragments of the Colossus. This is the real Ripley, the lover of beauty, inspired by art, by antiquity. He's odd, he's cold, he's so much wishes he weren't alone. Interior, Rome railway station night. It's past 8. Ripley stands 1 foot on the guard step of the Naples train, waiting forlornly for Dickie, then giving up as the train pulls away. He pulls the door to his compartment closed and sits inside the train alone. Interior, Dickie's bedroom night. There's music playing. Bing Crosby's May I continue to this going very loud. Ripley's dances to the mirror. Spectacles abandoned and dressed as Dickie in his tuxedos minus trousers. He adjusts his hair, catches one of Dickie's expression. There are clothes abandoned everywhere. He's been having a big dressing up session. He sings along with Bing.
What are you doing?
I was just amusing myself. I'm sorry, Dickie. I didn't think you were coming back.
We should get
Dickie
out of my
turns off the
clothes.
record player. Ripley starts undressing his fingers, clumsy with modification and shock. Dickie looks at his feet, shakes his head.
Shoes too?
You said I could pick out a jacket and I just, sorry.
Get undressed in your own room, would you?
I thought you'd missed the train.
Freddie drove me back in his car.
Is Freddie here?
He's downstairs.
I was just fooling around. Don't say anything. I'm sorry.
Dickie lets him leave and then sits amongst the debris of the dressing up session, not amused. Exterior, Dickie's terrace day. Ripley comes down, apprehensive to find Marge and Dickie and Freddie having a jolly breakfast, a jolly good show. On the terrace, Dickie looks perfectly happy.
Oh, hi, Tom. Come join us.
I want this job of yours, Tommy. I was just saying, you live in Italy, you sleep in Dickie's house, you eat Dickie's food, wear his clothes, and his father picks up the tab. If you get bored, let me know. I'll do it.
Exterior, the ocean aboard the Bird. Day, the boat is drifting. Freddie and Dickie and Marge are swimming. Then Marge climbs back onto the boat where Ripley is sitting alone, reading.
You really should go in. It's marvelous.
I'm fine.
She approaches him, conscious of his isolation. She's in a red bikini and she towels herself dry as they speak.
Are you okay?
Sure.
They watch Dickie and Freddie fooling around in the water.
So much fooling around. The thing with Dickie, it's like the sun shines on you and it's glorious, and then he forgets you and it's very, very cold.
So I'm learning.
He's not even aware of it. When you've got his attention, you feel like you're the only person in the world. That's why everybody loves him. Other times.
There's a yell from Dickie as Freddie wrestles with him.
He's drowning me!
It's always the same wherever someone new comes into his life. Freddie, Fausto, Peter Smith Kingsley. He's wonderful. Did you meet him? He's a musician. And especially you, of course. And it's only the boys.
They watch as Freddie pushes Dickie under the surface.
Tell me, why is it when men play, they always play it killing each other? I'm sorry about Cortina, by the way.
What about Cortina?
Dick didn't say. He talked to Freddie. Apparently it's not going to work out. Freddie says there aren't enough rooms. That's your cue, Travis.
Oh, yes, yeah. Exterior ocean aboard the Bird dusk. Excuse me, I'm so used to this Italian here. Later, now the boat is sailing again. Ripley is sitting in his spot. Dickie and Freddie are at the tiller.
Come on, Federico. Do you really have to go back? At least stick around for the Festival of the Madonna.
I don't think so. Come back with me to Rome. There's this great new club. Have some drinks, a lot of ladies.
Marge, still in her bikini, disappears into the cabin. Ooh, cabin in the woods shit. Diggy makes a face at Freddie.
Think you can see this thing?
Sure.
Just point her at DiCaprio and aboard the rocks.
What are you doing?
Marge maintenance.
Aye, aye.
Dickie heads towards the cabin. Freddie takes over the tiller. There's a breeze and the sailboat cuts through the water. Psh, psh, psh. From where Ripley sits, he can see Capri in the distance, but he can only look down into the cabin, its portal offering him a restricted view. He looks down, and there's a flash, then nothing. Then as the boat swings with the waves, he glimpses the bikini top flung over a chair, and then Marge is barefoot, kicking out rhythmically, the red paint toes straining. Ripley is mesmerized, aroused, and absolutely betrayed.
Tommy, how's the peeping? Come on, Tommy, you were looking. Tommy.
Shamed, Ripley looks away. He stares at the water, partnering before the boat, its turmoil reflecting his. Exterior, Dickie's morning day. The bird returns in the morning by Dickie's house. Dickie as ever captain of the ship, clampering around, shouting instructions to Ripley, Marge, and Freddie as crew. Ripley looks back at the shore. Silvana stands watching, staring. Dickie notices her too. Exterior, Montebello ship slipway, late day. A woman's head suddenly breaks the surface of the water. It's a statue of the Virgin Mary, life-size, adored with flowers and a lace veil as she is revealed, wooden, staring from 4 men emerge, lifting the statue of a Pilate, wading towards the shore, the Madonna aloft on their shoulders. The whole town of Montebello is in the attendance of the annual festival of Madonna del Mar, either standing in their fishing boats or on shore and flanking the parish priest and altar boys. And in case Ripley, Dickie, and Marge watch from Dickie's terrace, there are hymns of the statue is carried to the shore, the man's head barely above the waves. The congregation applauds, the illusion that the Madonna is walking on water. Suddenly, another head appears on the surface of the water, about 50 yards from the statue. There's a scream from the crowd as someone notices the body. It's Silvana, one of the men carrying the statue, turns first towards the direction of the scream and then towards the floating corpse. It's Silvana's fiance, and in second, he has let go of the plate, causing it to topple, and in absolute grief, Wobbs swims, splashes towards the body. Pandemonium is in the crowd, which breaks up with other people, splashing fully clothed into the water from the terrace. Ripley turns and looks at Dickie, catching his eye. Exterior, Dickie's terrace, late day. Marge and Ripley and Dickie watch from the terrace below them as an ambulance takes away the body. It seems as if the whole town looks on, fiancés, parents, brothers, sisters, police, priests, etc., as the corpse is loaded onto the vehicle. A brief scuffle occurs between Silvana's fiancé and her brother. They are pulled apart, then the ambulance pulls away.
What's the fight about? That's her fiancé, isn't it? Are they blaming him?
No, why are you asking me? Hour to find an ambulance.
She was already dead, darling, wasn't she? So I suppose.
Why people say this country's civilized? It isn't. It's fucking primitive.
And with that, he kicks out violently at a chair supporting the record player. Records, machine, chair go flying across the terrace. Dickie storms inside.
Dickie!
I'll go and see what's the matter.
I'll go.
Interior, Dickie's house, late afternoon. Later, Dickie is slumped in an armchair at the open window overlooking the shipway. He's playing sax, a forlorn, keening phrase from You Don't Know What Love Is. Ripley appears, begins untidying the mess in the living room. He picks up empty bottles and abandoned bikini top.
I know why you're upset. I know about Silvana, Dickie. About you and Silvana.
Dickie stops playing.
What about us?
He has now an armful of dishes and glasses and bottles.
You don't have to clean up. Really?
Ripley disappears into the kitchen.
She was pregnant. Did you know that? Do you know what that means in a place like this?
I'm prepared to take the blame.
What are you talking about?
You've been so good to me. You're the brother I never had. I'm the brother you've never had.
She came to me for help. She needed money and I didn't help her. I didn't help, and now she's dead and it's my fault.
I'm not gonna say anything to Marge or anybody. The police, it's a secret between us and I'll keep it.
As he disappears again, leaving Dickie to reassume the sax, somehow enthralled to Ripley.
Dear Tom, I think the time has come to discontinue your expense checks.
Exterior, American Express, Naples Day. Ripley and Dickie walking out of the American Express office, Dickie pushing the rest of his money onto his case. Ripley despondent, reading out loud extracts from a letter from Herbert Greenleaf.
$1,000, of course, was only due in the event that you succeeded in bringing Dickie home. Naturally, I hope the trip has afforded you some pleasure despite the failure of its main objective. You need no longer consider yourself obligated to us in any way.
You can't blame him. You cannot expect this to go on forever.
I thought you might write again. Now that we're brothers,
I can't. How can I in all decency? We've had a good run, haven't we?
What about Venice? Can we stick to the plan at least?
Oh, I don't think so, Tom. You can't stay on here without money. Tom, we all moved on. Besides, I'm sick of Mungie. Especially now with everything. I really want to move to the north. I need to check out San Remo next week, find someone new to keep the boat. It'd be great, though, if you came with me. Our last trip before you leave. There's a jazz festival. We could say goodbye in style. What do you think? Our last trip?
Interior train to San Remo afternoon. Dickie and Ripley travel to San Remo and Remo. They sit next to each other. Dickie's asleep. Ripley lays his head on Dickie's shoulder, but as he does, the ticket inspector announces that San Remo stop, taps on the window, and Dickie stirs. Then Ripley plays his familiar game of studying his face in the reflection of the train window so that he can move his head and see his reflection. Then back and see Dickie. Dickie suddenly catches him staring. Ripley looks away.
Why do you do that thing with your neck? On trains, you always do that thing. It's so spooky.
Exterior Hotel Terrace Restaurant, San Remo night. Dickie and Ripley walk through the terrace of an hotel, which slips out towards the sea. There's a restaurant palms, a jazz quintet playing American. Very cool. They pass that band. Dickie's captivated as they head for their table. They pass some girls at a table. Dickie smiles greedily.
This is more like it. Didn't I tell you San Remo was crazy?
They're shown to a good table. Dickie watches the band whilst their glasses are filled with champagne. Ripley looks happy. He's got Dickie all to himself.
To Mangiabello and the happiest days of my life.
To Mungie. Cheerful tonight.
I'm suddenly quite happy to be going back.
That's good.
I've got plans.
Ripley's plans.
Esatto, I'm always planning.
Can I know you at Princeton, Tom? I didn't I?
Why are you asking all of a sudden?
No reason. Because you're leaving, I guess. I don't think you were there, were you?
Why?
Meant it as a compliment. Got such great taste, I don't know. Most of the thugs at Princeton tasted everything and had no taste. You used to say the cream of America, rich and thick. Freddie's the perfect example.
And I'll take it as a compliment.
I know it. I had a bet with Marge.
Huh.
Do you even like jazz? Or was that something for my benefit?
I've gotten to like it. I've gotten to like everything about the way you live. It's one big love affair. If you knew my life back home in New York.
Dickie's distracted by the drummer who's playing an extrovert solo. Doesn't hear the confession of love.
I'm thinking of giving up on the sax. What do you think about the drums?
What?
So cool.
He mimes a hi-hat and snare. Ripley can't quite credit this. It's superficiality. Exterior mid-ocean day, the bay of San Remo. Dickie and Ripley have hired a motorboat.
Oh, that's how I found my place in Mungie. Took a boat out on the bay. First place I liked. Got it.
The motorboat is plugging the waves. Dickie exhilarated by the speed.
Dickie, slow down. Come on.
Ripley grips the oar. He knuckles white. Dickie cuts the motor and the boat slows to a crawl miles from shore.
I love it here. Gonna live here.
Dickie takes off his jacket, then drums against the edge of the boat, developing a rhyme with his lighter and fingers already on the way to becoming Buddy Rich.
I wanted to tell you my plan. I thought I might come back in the new year under my own steam. Are you muted?
Italy.
There you go. Of course. Let's say for argument's sake, you were here. Perhaps we could split the rent on a home. I'll get a job, or better still, I could get a place in Rome. And when we're there, we could be there. And when we're here, we could be here.
Oh God, I don't think so.
You see, particularly with the Marge problem, you can just blame me.
Marge and I are getting married.
How?
How?
Yesterday, you're ogling girls on the terrace. Today you're getting married? It's absurd.
I love Marge.
You love me and you're not marrying me.
Tom, I don't love you.
No, it's not a threat. I've explained all of that.
I'm actually a little relieved you're going, to be honest. I think we've seen enough of each other for a while.
Ripley stares at him. His eyes suddenly reptilian.
What?
Be a leech. You know this, and it's boring. You can be quite boring.
The funny thing is, I'm not pretending to be somebody else, and you are. I'm absolutely honest with you. I've told you my feelings, but you, first of all, I know there's something. That evening when we played chess, for instance, it was obvious.
What evening?
Sure, I know it's too dangerous for you. Fair enough, but hey, we're brothers, fine. Then you did this sordid thing with Marge, parking her on the boat while we all have to listen, which is excruciating. Frankly, plus you follow your cock around like a, now you're getting married. I'm bewildered. Forgive me, you're lying to Marge, then getting married to her, you're knocking up Silvana, and you got to play the sax, you've got to play the drums. Which is it, Dickie? What do you really play?
Dickie, furious, gets up and lurches towards Ripley.
Who are you? Cost us some third-class mooch? Who are you to tell me anything? Really, really, really don't want to be on this boat with you. I can't move without you moving, which is exactly how it feels, and it gives me the creeps. I can't move without Dickie, like a little girl. You give me the...
Ripley smashes him across the head with the oar. Dickie slips off the wooden seat, his eyes rolling in groggy surprise.
Just shut up! Just shut up! Shut up!
The boat slows as Dickie releases the tiller. Dickie looks up at Ripley wearing this and slides onto his back.
For God's sakes.
Ripley, shocked at himself, goes to Dickie, rocking the boat, catches him up, then is horrified to see Dickie's face, apparently unmarked, suddenly slip open. As signs of blood and then a peen like a fruit bursting. Ripley's appalled. A terrible roar issues from Dickie as he launches himself at Ripley.
I'll kill you!
Ripley finds himself pushing away, picking up the oar, kicking off Dickie's hand around his ankle. The boat is rocking and swerving crazily as Dickie falls against the tiller. Ripley almost loses his balance. His eyes come off. They struggle, locked together in a life or death wrestle to get control of the oar. Dickie's blinded by his own blood, loses his grip. Ripley, terrified, hits Dickie again and again, the oar like a red carpet beater, banging down flat blood on the blade on Ripley until he's on his knees, heavy for breath, letting his arm drop, then realizing, disgusted, that he's let it rest on the pool of blood. He starts to sob, sprawls there, sobbing next to Dickie, horrified by what he's done. Nobody's in sight. The boat rocks gently, the sun sparkling indifferently on the waves. Ripley lies by Dickie in the bottom of the boat in the embrace he always wanted. The pretty blue and white boat rocks peacefully. The sea, calm. Exterior, cove near San Remo, afternoon. A deserted cove several miles on the coast. Ripley climbs over a rock over the shore. He's watching the boat slowly sinking, shuddering from the exertion, the cold. He finds Dickie's jacket, puts it on, and watches the boat disappear under the surface. Exterior, San Remo, dusk. Ripley walks back towards the hotel, still wearing Dickie's jacket, cold and wet. His bag over his shoulder. Exterior hotel lobby, early morning. Ripley approaches the front desk. He's shivering. He's not wearing his glasses.
Can I have my tea, please?
Of course. But you must be very cold, Senor Greenleaf, yes?
No,
Exterior road between Naples and Montebello Day. Ripley sits on the bus as it rumbles towards Mongi. He stares out of the window, full of what he's done, no idea what to do. Exterior Montebello, Fisherman's Wharf Day. The bus comes into town. Ripley gets out, looks calm, very together. Interior, Dickie's living room, Montebello Day. Ripley walks into the living room, slowing his approach. Dickie's saxophone, which is on its stand on the table. He can't get close to it. It evokes Dickie too much. Interior, Dickie's living room day. Ripley has Dickie's Hermes baby typewriter on the desk and is busy writing letters. He has finished a letter to the Greenleaf. Now he's at the end of the one to Marge. We can read part of it to American Express, Room 9, November 1958. Dear Marge, this is a difficult letter for me to write. Ripley produces the Shakespearean signature page and copies Dickie's signature at the end of the letter. Exterior Marge Garden, Montebello Day. Ripley at the entrance to Marge's garden, where she is working at her book on the outside table, surrounded by references and notes, held down by bricks. He looks down at her until she looks at him. She's startled and gasps.
Hello, Marge.
Tom, you startled me. You're back.
How are you? Sorry. Is your book going well?
I'm on a good streak, thanks.
I was just looking at you. So quiet.
Where's Dickie?
I think he's planning on staying in Rome for a few days.
Did he say why?
I don't know. I don't understand Dickie, Marge, so your guess is as good as mine.
What does that mean?
Well, one day I'm invited skiing, the next day I'm not. One day we're all one family, the next day he wants to be alone. You tell me.
Is that what he said? He wanted to be alone?
He was thinking of you, Marge. He asked me to deliver this.
He hands her a package. She pulls at it. It's perfume.
Thanks. He knows I love this, although why couldn't he have waited?
Errand number 1, deliver Marge's perfume. Errand number 2, pack up some of his clothes and his precious saxophone.
How long is he staying for?
Search me. I guess we're abandoned.
Exterior, Montebello Beach, early morning. Marge is walking along the beach onto the jetty, forlorn, a bleached figure on this morning. Interior, off from Dickie's living room morning. As Ripley walks down the stairs, Marge is at the icebox in the living room. She's fixing herself a drink, has the icebox open for her ice. She's assing and might have been weeping, walks back into the kitchen area.
There was a letter from Dickie, my perfume. You realize it's more than a few days. He's thinking of moving to Rome.
She bangs out the ice onto the counter, cubes falling everywhere. Ripley drops to the floor and starts to clear them up. She's got the letter, shows it to Ripley. He puts fresh ice into her glass.
The thing is, the night before he left, we talked about moving together, going north. And I suppose I put some pressure on him about getting married. I might have scared him off. There's a side to him when our heads are on the pillow. I know no one else sees it, which is really tender. I think I should come to you with Rome and just confront him.
Ripley lights a cigarette. Marge loses confidence.
He hates being confronted.
I think you're right.
Interior Alberto Goldoni, Rome. Ripley's battered cases are carried into the tiny lobby of this small hotel. He exchanges his passport at the desk for his room key, then makes his way carrying his own luggage to the metal cage elevator. This scene intercuts with Interior Hotel Grande. Dickie's array of leather luggage is pulled along a baggage trolley by a livered porter. Dickie's passport slides across the marble desk. A key comes back, collected by a hand supporting Dickie's 2 distinctive rings. As Aldo, the front desk manager, inspects the passport, he looks at the owner. Ripley wears a terrific suit, his hair parted in the Greenleaf style, no glasses. His voice, when he speaks, has the same lazy, confident drawl.
Welcome back, Signor Greenleaf.
Thank you.
Interior Ripley Street, Grande. The porter takes the cases and opens them as Ripley walks around the suite. It's large and splendid. Ripley breathes in its opulence. He immediately picks up the telephone.
Yes, I'd like you to telephone the Hotel Goldoni. Yes, I want to speak to Signor Thomas Ripley. No, Ripley, R. Yes, grazie.
He produces Dickie's pen and signs the blotter quickly. H.R. Greenleaf. Then he pulls out a postcard from the writing case to reveal Dickie stars. Hide your fire's handwriting specimen. He compares the two signatures. Is pleased. The telephone rings.
Pronto. Senor Ripley is not there? I'd like to leave a message. Yes. Please call Dickie. Dickie Greenleaf at the Grand.
Interior Ripley's Hotel, Dodone Day, a tiny cella of a room, single bed. Ripley on the phone.
He's not there? Very well, I'll leave a message. Got your call. Dinner tonight sounds fine. Ripley. Dinner tonight, yes. It's okay. Yes, thank you.
Interior Gucci store, Rome Day. Ripley has brought some leather goods, a briefcase, and overnight bag. He's at a counter, signing checks.
I'd like these to have my initials embossed. I don't know the word in Italian. Embossed.
Embossed? Of course, Signor Greenleaf.
I actually lost my spot.
42,
I'm knocking on the window.
42, bottom of 2, 42.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry. There's an excited rep on the window and a shout of Dickie. Shocked, Ripley looks over to find Meredith Lungs outside alone and delighted to see him. He grins and melts. Hello.
Dickie, oh my God, ciao.
Exterior across Piazza Navona to Akari's cafe. Ripley and Meredith walk across the piazza towards the cafe.
But you're going skiing with the Yankees, or with us Yankees, excuse me, aren't you?
What?
At Christmas to Cortina with Freddie Miles and...
How did you know that?
Everybody knows Freddie Miles.
Is Freddie in Rome?
Now? I don't think so. But I've met him, of course, and we've chatted, and I know about you and Marge and Mongie and what an unreliable rat you are, you rapscallion. Freddie said you were a rat, and I thought to myself, now I know why he travels under R.
I've left Marge, Meredith, and Mongie. So the rat's here now, I guess, in Rome.
Sorry, I wouldn't have made a joke if,
Don't be sorry. I've never been happier. I feel like I've been handed a new life.
Exterior American Express office, Rome Day. Meredith and Ripley walk down the Spanish steps and head inside the office.
You could have gone with layoff fees, you dum-dum. Anyway, the truth is, fuck you, chair. The truth is, if you had money your entire life, even if you despise it, which we do, agreed? You're only truly comfortable around other people who have it and despise it.
I know.
I've never admitted that to anyone.
Interior American Express office, Rome Day. Ripley signing Dickie's allowance receipt. Meredith is with him signing her own counterfoil. He is, of course, endorsed by her presence. She goes to the window ahead of him. She takes her money, turns to him. He hands over his documents. The clerk compares Ripley's signature with one on the passport and then looks up at him. Ripley is cool as a cucumber.
I don't want too many large bills. Nobody will change them.
Interior Ripley Suite, Grand Another Day, where a tailor is finishing the fitting of a cashmere jacket for Ripley. Bolts of cloth everywhere as Meredith educates the possible materials, which the tailor holds up against Ripley.
Adjudicates, not educates, but I'm educating you on how to pronounce that word. Show me the other one again. I like them both.
I'll take them both.
Ripley goes inside the bedroom to change. While he's inside, Meredith shows the tailor out. As he returns, she notices the open sax case, peers inside.
I know you're a jazz fiend, but do you absolutely hate the opera? I've been trying to give my tickets away. It's tomorrow, but if you were prepared to be dragged.
She looks up to catch him bare-chested. She's intoxicated by him. The romance she feels to be in the air.
You could drag me.
In the interior Opera House, Rome. On stage is Act 2 of Eugene Lenski sings his aria before the duel with Eugene. Ripley in a tuxedo in a box, which includes a glamorous Meredith and her aunt and uncle. He knows what comes next. Lansky is shot by Ogini. Blood pours from his neck onto the snow. Ogini, horrified at the death of his friend, goes over, wraps Lansky in his cloak. Cloak. The silk lining flashing, kneels holding him. Ripley can barely hide his emotion. Meredith watches his sensitive friend entranced. Interior outside the box, Opera House, Rome. The interval, Ripley and Meredith exit their box with Meredith's aunt and uncle, who heads for the interval drinks.
Thanks so much for inviting me tonight. Joan.
Can you bear it? We hear you're a friend of Freddie's. He has "I hate opera" tattooed on his chest.
There's room for a whole libretto on Freddie's chest.
I'm sure we
They
fit.
reach the console where Uncle Ted has their drinks.
I was sure we'd met. Weren't you, Ted? This is Herbert Greenleaf's boy.
Thanks. Yes, I think we did.
One minute you people are children and the next you're getting tattooed.
Interior Opera House, foyer night. Ripley heads past the beautiful people on his hunt for the men's room and walks straight onto a young and cultured Englishman. They greet each other and suddenly Marge is beside them.
Oh my God. Tom.
Marge, how are you? What are you doing in Rome?
Is he here? Are you with Dickie?
No. Hello, I'm Tom Ripley.
Peter Smith Kingsley. I've heard about you, of course, from Marge and Dickie.
No glasses?
He fishes out the glasses.
Ditto.
Where are you hiding him? He's impossible, isn't he?
Marge, you know Dickie has "I hate opera" tattooed on his chest.
Venice.
Yes, what happened? I heard you were desperate to come. I was looking forward to rowing with you.
I am. I really am. And I've been traveling. I just can't seem to get that far north.
Well, hurry before we sink. Should I give you my telephone number in Venice?
Thanks.
The interval bell is ringing. Peter hands over his card to Ripley. He sees Meredith.
Look, there's Meredith Thingy. Who's that, Marge? Textiles. Meredith. God, how awful I spent Christmas in a house.
Wasn't called. He's hardly written. Just these cryptic notes and just dump people.
The last interval bell, there's a mini stampede to return.
Will we see you later?
I can't later.
And tomorrow?
Tomorrow is possible. Do you know Dinelli's Piazza di Spagna?
I know the Piazza di Spagna. What time?
10:30?
We'll be there.
Okay. Marge, see you tomorrow. It was really good to meet you.
Interior box Opera House night. Ripley goes straight to Meredith and grabs her.
Let's go.
Oh, I thought you were enjoying yourself.
Let's take a carossa and look at the moon.
You're crazy. It's freezing out there.
He's looking past her where a mirror reflects Marge wandering through the audience, Peter's elegant head getting dangerously near as they approach their seats.
Come on, I need to talk to you, just the two of us.
Okay, then. You're crazy.
Exterior Carosa Rome night. Meredith shivers in the raw night as they cross the timber. Ripley, as Dickie is confessing his heart belongs to Marge.
Don't worry. Really. Don't worry.
You're such a pal to understand. It's as if Marge is here right now. I look at you and I see her face, and I can't. Whatever I'm feeling toward you, I just can't.
No, I absolutely understand, of course.
Otherwise, you'd be fighting me off.
Beating you away.
Exterior, Meredith's apartment room. They arrive at the courtyard outside Meredith's apartment building. Ripley jumps down, collects her. She makes to go inside, then looks at him.
You had to do that right before my line, Travis? Really? Will you meet me tomorrow? Just to say goodbye in the daylight. Properly? So it's not just this. It's two. You should always save pain for daylight.
Oh, Meredith, I'm sorry. Of course, I'll meet you. Let's have coffee in the morning at Dinelli's.
I don't, is that by the Spanish Steps?
Exactly. 10:30? 10:15.
He gets back to the Carosa and moves off. Exterior Dinelli's Caf, Piazza de España morning. Meredith sits waiting in a cafe at the bottom of the Spanish Steps. Ripley dressed as...
Cafe! It's pronounced cafe.
Yeah, I said cafe.
No, you
Is
just
it cafe?
calf, as in like a young cow, idiot.
Caf. Meredith
I just got a text from my mom. I'm sorry, Travis.
No, it's all good. Meredith sits waiting at the cafe.
Thank you.
At the bottom of the Spanish cafe steps. Ripley dressed as... Ripley is at the bottom of the steps among early tourists watching as he drinks her coffee at an outside table. Then Marge and Peter appear walking up the Via Contonini or Contonti.
Condati.
Yeah, head for another table. Don't see Meredith. She acknowledges Peter, who hasn't noticed her.
Is the way Travis says it. Peter! Hello. It's Meredith Logue.
Of course it is, Meredith. Hello. I'm sorry, half asleep. How are you? This is Marge Sherwood. Meredith Logue.
Hello.
Hearing Marge's name, Meredith reacts, freezes.
Join us, won't you? We're just waiting for a friend. Do you know, I wondered, did we see you at the opera last night?
I won't actually, although I think that this might. Are you waiting for Dickie?
Well, no, as it happens, although...
Do you know Dickie?
You were at the opera? Well, that explains. Oh, yes, I was there. I was there with Dickie.
I told you I knew it.
Marge, I don't know you, so I have no right, but Dickie loves you. Well, I think you'll find he's coming home to you.
How would you know that?
He told me everything. I was supposed to meet him 15 minutes ago, so I'm going to go now. I think, unless he meant for us to meet, which would be a little cruel, wouldn't it?
No, we're meeting another friend, Tom Ripley.
Do you know Tom?
Ripley? No. I heard about him, of course, but no, I didn't meet him.
The waiter has arrived to take the orders. Meredith indicates she's leaving.
Not for me. No, grazie.
Marge is on the edge. Peter lays a hand to comfort her.
Oh, I hope I didn't complicate matters, but nothing untoward happened. Nothing to prevent you from welcoming him back, from marrying him. Goodbye.
Done, Jen.
I am not done. That's my fault. I'm sorry. I got distracted. I Travised. Fuck. Goodbye, Peter. Please don't get up.
I'll have at the order. Peter gets up. Ripley from his vantage point at the top of the steps watches Meredith leave and walk off into the crowd. He begins to slow walk down toward the square as he becomes visible to the cafe. He stares to hurry. He's apologizing to Marge and Peter as they see him in his element, lying and believing his lie.
Sorry. I had to renew my papers. Italian bureaucracy. Never one stamp when they can make you line up for 3. Have you been waiting long?
Not at all. Morning, Tom.
Hi. Sorry, you okay? You look as if you've seen a ghost. Sorry, you okay? You look as if you've seen a ghost.
Opera last night.
I don't believe it. Wild horses couldn't drag Dickie too.
He was there with someone, so I suppose she must have dragged him. That's not fair. I'm going back to Monty. I don't think Dickie's coming home. I'm going home.
Really? Well, that's swell. No, you're way ahead of me. Great.
I think he's had a change of heart, so we should be celebrating.
I hope so.
That was moving, wasn't it? When Meredith said, Meredith's the American girl I saw last night. I know her at the opera. She's been seeing something of Dickie.
My God.
But the point is, Dickie, well, we know this. Dickie loves Marge and he misses her, and apparently he's come to his senses.
Well, that's fantastic. I feel guilty. Marge doesn't understand this, but anytime Dickie does something, I feel guilty.
Interior apartment, Plaza Gloria Day. Ripley is being shown an apartment for rent in the Palazzo
Travis.
Giona by dry-witted older woman, Signora Buffi. Ripley explores, relishing the decor.
Ascendo il rascalmento.
Mi piace, signore.
I sono sorda che lei de sota una copia? Sono sordi. Allora ti piace?
Interior, Ripley's apartment afternoon. Ripley is in the apartment, fire burning, wearing pajamas. There's a small Christmas tree. He kneels on the floor with some festive gift wrap packages. He opens a package. It's marble head of Hadrian. A gasp from Ripley. He picks up a glass, pours himself a drink. Interior, Ripley's apartment late afternoon. Ripley plunges into Baxitalian concentro on his new and precious toy, a Steinway Grand. His doorbell rings. He stops playing. He doesn't get visitors. He raises a little nervous.
Hello?
Dickie,
Who is it?
it's Freddie. Let me in.
Ripley almost collapses. He's faint.
Dickie, come on, it's me.
Ripley can't think what to hide, where to hide. He opens up the door.
Hello, Freddie. It's Tom. Tom Ripley.
Oh, hello. Where's Dickie? How are you?
Yes, I'm good, thank you. Dickie's at dinner. He's at Otello's. Do you know it?
I don't think he's at dinner at 6:30 p.m. If you said he was still at lunch, I'd believe you. Incredible. The guy has disappeared off the face of the earth.
I guess.
The landlady, as far as I could tell, the landlady said he was here right now.
He's gone to dinner. Search the place. I can't think why you would imagine Dickie would hide from you.
Because he's been hiding from me. What happened at Christmas?
What about Christmas?
He was supposed to come skiing. I didn't get a cable or a call or a note or frankly a fart.
Ripley has his hands behind his back. He's tugging frantically at Dick's rings. Ripley wanders into the kitchen, turns on the tap to sluice his fingers.
Of course, he's been very involved in his music, hasn't he? I think it's his theory is, you have to go into the cocoon before you can become a butterfly.
Which is horseshit. Have you heard him play that thing? He can't.
How did you find him? It's such an out-of-the-way apartment. I can fix you a drink.
No, thanks. There's some kid at the American Express office. Are you living here?
Now he starts to hum a nasty boogie-woogie on the piano.
No, I'm staying here for a few days in Rome. That's a new piano, so you should probably...
Did this place come furnished? It doesn't look like Dickie. Horrible, isn't it? So bourgeois.
Now he's poking at the Hadrian bust.
You should watch that.
In fact, the only thing which looks like Dickie is you.
Hardly.
Have you done something to your hair?
Ripley starts to smile, his eyes darting around the room.
Freddie, do you have something to say?
Oh, what? I think I'm saying it. Something's going on. He's either converted to Christianity or to something else.
I suggest you ask Dickie that yourself. Otello's, it's on Della Croce, or just off the Corso.
Is it on Della Croce just off the Corso? You're a quick study, aren't you? Last time you didn't know your ass from your elbow. Now you're giving me directions. Well, that's not fair. You probably do know your ass from your elbow. I'll see you.
Andy's gone. Ripley shuts the door, smooth the silk runner on the table where Freddie's hand had rucked it. He goes back to the door, opens it, and looks over the rail. Interior landing stairs. Ripley is building late night. Freddie is back in a conversation with Signora Buffy. Ripley can't make out the text, but there's some discussion about Signor Greenleaf and Signor Ripley. Ripley hurries inside as Freddie's heavy shoes start to clump up the stairs again. Interior Ripley's apartment room. Late day. Freddie knocks on the door, which pauses open as he marches in. He launches into his interrogation.
Ripley, there's something.
And walks straight into the head of Hadrian, which Ripley swings at him, holding it awkwardly with both hands to the heavy marble sculpture. Major foreshadow there. Freddie falls like an ox, first his knees groaning to the floor as Ripley brings the head again, beating him downwards as Freddie slumps down. Ripley loses his balance and the head sends Freddie glancing below before slipping from Ripley's grasp and smashing onto the floor, and the nose is chipped off. Exterior Piazza Yora Day. It's deserted. Ripley's hauls Freddie out of the shadow towards the car. A couple walk across the square. Ripley talks to Freddie, berating him for his drunken stupor. He pushes him over the door into the passenger seat.
Hey, if I'm drunk, think what that husband's saying.
Exterior Via Piazza Antigua night. The Fiat noses along the Appian Way. Great film. Black fragments of tombs punctuate either side of the poorly lit road inside the car. Ripley looks to the craft and right for a place to dump the body. He slows near a clump of trees. Into Ripley's apartment room evening. Someone is knocking urgently at the door. Ripley opens it, finds himself face to face with Signor Buffy and two policemen. One of them offers his hand.
He Greenleaf?
Yes.
Inspector Roverini. Can we come in?
Interior Ripley's apartment evening. Ripley sits with his head in his hands at the table. Roverini and his sergeant Fangio watch patiently.
It's a terrible shock, huh? What time did Signor Miles leave yesterday?
I can't be absolutely sure. 8, 9. We'd both taken on far too many drinks, but it was dark. It was certainly dark when I walked into his car.
So Signor Miles drove away and you did what?
I went to bed. Freddie's a big man, but I'm in trouble after a couple of drinks. I'd suffered all day. Who found him?
Roverini has walked over the bust of Hadrian.
Senta. We have to ask you to stay in Rome.
Yes, if it's going to help, certainly.
So, the doctor, he was to make, ¿cómo se dice?
Postmortem?
Yes, exactly. But his first conclusion was that Signor Miles was killed no later than 7 o'clock yesterday evening.
Well, he certainly wasn't dead when he drove off in his car.
No.
Exterior narrow street, the ghetto, Rome morning. Ripley comes through a dark tunnel in the ghetto on his scooter. He drives past a furniture store, dressing tables and mirrors spilling onto the street. He glances sideways and sees his reflection fractured into several images. And for an instant, it seems as if Dickie's there watching him. Ripley screams and swerves, crashing into the pavement, the scooter falling onto him, pulling him along the cobbled passage. The man he thought to be Dickie, an Italian, runs up concerned. Exterior American Express, Piazza di Spagna Day. Ripley emerges from the American Express office across the street at the cafe as once before sits Marge. Ripley slips Dickie's back into his knapsack. As he approaches the scooter, Marge spots him and strides across the piazza. She is no mood for pleasantries.
Did he kill Freddie? Did he kill Freddie?
You're on mute, sir.
God, speak up!
I swear he didn't. Of course he didn't.
Tell me the truth. Did he kill Freddie?
I swear he didn't. No.
I tried again, waiting here, watching for him. It said, it's you. Whenever I look for Dickie, I find you. What happened to your face?
Dickie did it.
Dickie?
My face. Yeah, there was an argument. I said some things I shouldn't have. About you. About the appalling way he's treating you, all of us. And the next thing I know, he's launched himself at me. Are you getting on?
What?
Get on. I'll take you to him. I will.
Damn it, Travis.
And we'll
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
by way of the square.
I'm sorry. I lost my
Bottom of 56.
Oh, there we go. I see it. Exterior square of the Palazzo Giorday. Ripley and Marge come around the corner of the scooter. The entrance of the palazzo is blocked by a couple of police cars. Inspector Rovini emerges from one of them. Ripley, startled, drives straight past the entrance. Exterior Rome Street by the river. Ripley pulls up 100 yards later in a different piazza full of bookstalls. Marge is confused.
Where does Dickie live?
We passed it a few blocks back where the police were, the Palazzo Gioria. They don't know I'm in Rome, and I'm not going to incriminate Dickie.
Perhaps I shouldn't go either.
No. Well, if you want to, but don't talk to the police about my face. They find out he hit me. He's got a temper. He could have hit Freddie. Good luck, Marge. I'll catch up with you later.
As he drives off at the first opportunity, he doubles back and roars toward the palazzo. Exterior square of the Piazza Gioia. Afternoon. Ripley drives toward the entrance. As Ripley gets off and pushes the scooter through the doorway, some journalists loitering inside a barber's shop come running out and swarm around him with the questions around Freddie. One of them gets off a photo. It's chaos. A police officer shouts him away as Ripley puts up protective hand and runs inside. Interior entrance stairs. Palazzo Gio continues. Ripley hurries inside, encounters officers conducting more thorough forensic investigation in the stairwell. On a landing in is Roverini. Ripley hurries towards him.
Can we go up? Do you mind?
Of course. What happened to your face?
My scooter. I fell off. Getting chased by photographers.
He hurries up the stairs, Roverini in tow.
The telephone, the press. I'm feeling hounded. Do you think you could not give out my address?
Never. We've had many requests, and of course we said no. Even to your fiance.
I really don't want to see anybody.
Even your fiance?
Even her.
What about the Thomas Ripley?
What about Ripley?
Ripley, way ahead, has reached the door of his apartment. He waits nervously for Roverini. He unlocks the door and can barely wait for Roverini to catch up. Interior Ripley's apartment afternoon. Roverini allows Ripley inside. Biagio hurries in behind him.
You and Signor Ripley went to San Remo, is that right?
Ripley's appalled. He smiles.
Yeah, sure. We did go to San Remo. That was months ago.
November, I thought.
Was it? Did you speak to Tom?
November 7th is my information.
I don't remember the exact date.
And when did you last see Signor Ripley?
A few days ago.
Does he stay with you here?
No.
No. Here is a pattern. 2 days ago, Freddie Miles is dead. He leaves your apartment and is murdered. Yesterday, a little boat in San Remo, full of rocks, and the owner tells the police it was stolen on November the 7th. We look at the hotel records and we say, oh, Dickie Greenleaf is staying in San Remo. And then our boat remembers 2 Americans taking a boat.
It's not a pattern. It's a coincidence. There must be 50 hotels in San Remo. There must have been 100 people renting out a boat that day.
31 people.
31 people.
Biagio appears to speak to Roverini. Ripley is getting cranky.
That is Miss Sherwood now. Marge Sherwood.
Let her in. What's the difference? Let her in. No, actually, no. I'd like it very much if you would ask her to come back later.
Green nods, matters to Beyondra, who heads out.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I ask, why would you speak to your friend and not your fiance?
I think I just said. Ripley was handling some business for me, nor does Mr. Ripley want to marry me, nor did he ask me every day if I would marry him and when.
Do you have a photograph of Signor Ripley?
I'm not in the habit of carrying around photographs of my male friends.
Now I think I have upset you. My English perhaps is coarse.
It is a little coarse, yes.
Sorry. No one has seen Signor Ripley since...
I have.
Oh, you have? Yes.
No, and so has Miss Sherwood. Ask her. And if I could remember which hotel he was staying at, the Goldoni. Tom was staying at the Goldoni.
Good. The Goldoni. Yes, you're right. A coincidence. I look forward to our next meeting when I will be more careful with my English and persuade you to play me your saxophone. Alto.
Absolutely.
I have a witness who thinks they saw two men getting into Mr. Miles' car. She wants to identify you in a confronto, a lineup. Tomorrow then?
Tomorrow.
Ripley lets him out, heaves a heavy sigh, then peeps through the door, locks down to see Rovrini speaking to Marge on the stairs.
Buongiorno, Miss Sherwood. He's in, but I really don't think he wants to see anybody.
Ripley leans against the door, noose tightened, then suddenly a voice shocks him upright.
Dickie, Dick, I know you can hear me. What am I doing chasing you around? I was going to say I would count to 3 and if you didn't open the door, but I won't count anymore on you. I won't count on you anymore. Whatever it is, whatever you've done or haven't done, you've broken my heart. The one thing I know you're guilty of, and I know I don't know why. I don't know why, and I don't know why.
Ripley listens, there's a silence, then Marge, footsteps as they ring out to the stone stairs, then tapping sound resolves onto the tap-tap of a manual typewriter. Interior, Ripley's apartment, Palazzo Gione. Ripley's at the typewriter. He begins to type.
My dear Tom, I'm getting out of this. Freddie's death, Silvana. I've thought about going to the police, but I can't do it. I can't face it. I can't face anything anymore.
Interior, Ripley's apartment, Palazzo Gione. Chaos. Ripley is working quickly, selecting clothes, dividing them into 2 piles, one for Dickie's trunk, one for his own battered suitcase. He puts the license plates from Freddie's car in Dickie's luggage. He placed one shirt from Ripley's pile, then checks again. And on seeing Dickie's initials, places it with the bigger pile, then picks it up again and holds it briefly against his cheek. He takes Dickie's rings, opens a old box of buttons, then needles and cufflinks, and Sally tosses them. Dickie's leather writing case is good and big pile, too, as do cufflinks, tiles, the Mont Blanc. Dickie's passport, which he has opened to scratch the photograph, obliterating his face.
I wish I could give you the life I took for granted. You've always understood what's at the heart of me, Tom. Marge never could. I suppose that's why I'm writing this to you, the brother I never had, the only true friend I ever had. In all kinds of ways, you're much more like the son my father always wanted. I realize you can change the people, change the scenery, but you can't change your own rotten self. Now I can't think what to do or where to go. I'm haunted by everything I've done and can't undo. I'm sorry I can't go on. I've made a mess of being Dickie Greenleaf, haven't I?
He's finished the letter, signs it, puts it on the envelope marked Tom Ripley, and places it on top of the piano next to Dickie's passport. His head is reflected in the piano, discording the curve of the lid. As he puts on his glasses, there's a moment there that our 2 heads slowly separating as Ripley leaves behind the belief as Dickie's Greenleaf. Interior basement Palazzo Gio night. Ripley carries Dickie's luggage into the communal basement as the Gioa, a wretched place full of shadows and gloom and the overflow from 30 apartments. A red plush couch sits on top of the mount furniture. He finds a downchain and shoves the cases under them. Then Dickie's saxophone. Outside the small windows, Ripley sees ununiformed feet and the revolving blue light of a police car. He shrinks back, turns off the light, and disappears into the dark, illuminating fitfully by the strobe of cold blue. Exterior the Palazzo Gio Rome night. Ripley, familiar battered luggage in tow, appears to the entrance of the building next to his own, glances at the police car opposite of the big doors, then hurries off into the darkness. Exterior by the Palazzo Gio night, Ripley briefly silhouetted as he scuttles down an alley, hurrying toward a gate, and disappears behind it. Exterior Palazzo Rome Venice dawn. Ripley sits next to his battered luggage at the prow of a motor taxi. As it surges towards Venice at dawn, Peter Smith Kingsley awaits on the quay. Ripley waves, Peter waves back.
I'll see you over there.
Exterior Piazza San Marco, Venice, early morning. Ripley and Peter walk through the square, the pigeons scattering. Ripley breathes the atmosphere, the beautiful gray.
Peter, I'm really sorry to put you through this. I just couldn't face going to the police by myself, and when my Italian's so rotten.
Don't be daft. It's fine. I'm delighted you finally made it to Venice. I'm delighted, contrary to rumor, you're still in one piece.
What rumor?
That Dickie murdered you and is traveling under your passport. I know, ridiculous.
Interior police station, Venice, late day. Later, Ripley sits in the middle of a bustling police station where their theft stores, thieves, and complaints are being processed. The station is an old brewery or armory. It's a horrible micronome, oppressive place. Peter is in conversation at a desk, turns and walks over to where Ripley waits.
Welcome to Venice. This place reeks, doesn't it? Can you smell it? Ugh, sorry. Not the best way to spend your first day.
Okay.
Anyway, I've got to the bottom of the delay. Finally, we're waiting for someone from Rome.
What do you mean? They're sending someone from Rome?
That's good, isn't it?
No, but I thought that didn't happen in Italy, that each region was completely separate. I was sure that was the way.
You've seen the papers. You know what a big deal it's been here. American tourist murdered.
It's ridiculous, but now that you mention the stench, I can hardly breathe.
A door opens. Colonel Veraccia, fresh from Rome, and a sullen witch of a man comes in, scowling the couple. Ripley dare not look up in case it's Wolverine. A policeman introduces him.
Colonel Veraccia della Polizia di Roma.
Yeah, Ripley. Who is Ripley?
Veraccia strides past him and onto a smaller interview room at the back of the station. His manner is ominous. Interior police station interview room, Venice, late day. This room is not at all friendly. There's evidence of a locked area for cells at one wall. A small sour window gives off onto a canal. The main station is glimpsed through some internal windows. Peter and Ripley come through. Veraccia sits down. Veraccia talks in staccato Italian, during which Peter translates.
Ho assunto la guerra delle indagini in seguito alla negativa valutazione delle discavole circostanze verificate con il professore Wolverini, che come noto con il rifiuto a impedire il verificarsi della scomparsa del signor Green, il quale era l'unica persona al momento possibile di criminarsi del reato di omicidio del signor Miles.
He's taken over the case because they're annoyed. The previous chap let him disappear when he was the only suspect in Freddie's murder.
Quando è stata l'ultima volta che il signor Ripley ha visto il signor Green?
In Rome, about 3 weeks ago. I knew that one.
A Roma circa 3 settimane fa.
Dove è stato il signor Ripley da allora?
Where have you been since then?
I've been backpacking.
I don't know how to translate that. Difficile, il signor Ripley dormiva aperto con un...
All'aperto, col freddo ce ha fatto.
He thinks it's very cold to be sleeping outside.
Il signor Ripley ha sviluppate tendenze omosessuali.
Are you a homosexual? Interesting non sequitur.
No.
No. By the way, officially there are no Italian homosexuals. Makes Leonardo Michelangelo very inconvenient.
Tell him I have a fiance. Dickie has a fiance. And Freddie Miles probably had a string of them.
Il signor Ripley ha una fidanzata, il signor Diggy ha una fidanzata, probabilmente il signor Freddie ha molte fidanzate.
Mamma mia, quante fidanzate.
What did he say?
He says so many fiancés.
Lei ha il stesso primo Freddie Miles dopo Diggy Green, vero?
As Peter translates, Verlaci watches intently.
Wants to know if you killed Freddie Miles and then killed Dickie Greenleaf.
No, I did not.
Peter.
I did not kill Freddie Miles and then kill Dickie Greenleaf. Is he accusing me? Ask him if he's accusing me.
He's already angry. I don't think...
It's just because he doesn't like Americans.
Non è questo il luogo per le vostre conversazioni private.
Ragione.
C'è questa.
But Verlaci heads over a letter. It's open. Ripley's name on the outside. Ripley stares at it.
Questa lettera è stata trovata nell'abitazione del signor Richard Greenleaf a Roma.
They found this in Dickie's place in Rome.
You open this?
Of course.
Stands and takes the letter out, begins to read. He has the look of a man whose privacy has been violated.
It's a suicide note. You asked me all these questions and you already know he wrote the suicide note?
Interior, Peter Smith Kingsley's apartment day. There's music everywhere and stands and posters, performances and photographs of Peter conducting. Peter is an opera reinterpreter. Ripley is sitting at Peter's piano playing from a score of Vivaldi's Stabat Mater. Peter's made supper. He's setting the table.
Can you imagine if Dickie did kill Freddie? What must that be like? To wake up every morning. How can you? Just wake up and be a person, drink a coffee?
Whatever you do, however terrible, however hurtful, it all makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, inside your head, you never meet anybody who thinks they're a bad person or that they're cruel.
You're still tormented. You must be. You've killed somebody.
Don't you put the past in a room, in a cellar, and lock the door and just never go in there? Because that's what I do.
Probably. In my case, it's probably a whole building.
Then you meet someone special and all you want to do is toss them the key, say, open up, step inside. But you can't because it's dark and there are demons. And if anybody saw how ugly it is.
That's the music talking. Harder to be bleak if you're playing Knees Up Mother Brown.
He whips this vaudeville song over Ripley's shoulder.
I keep wanting to do that. Fling open the door, let the light in, clean everything out. If I could get a huge eraser and rub everything out, starting with myself. The thing is, Peter, if...
No key, huh?
Interior, Santa Maria del Piata, Bridge of Signs. A young boy sings the soprano part of Vivaldi's Sabate Mater, a precisely pure son in Vivaldi's own church. The orchestra rehearsing is conducted by Peter from the organ. Ripley slips in at the back of the church. He stands and listens. Peter sees him, smiles. Ripley smiles back. Exterior Venice, St. Luca Railway Station Day. Marge appears on the steps carrying an overnight bag. Ripley and Peter have come to meet her.
Hello, Peter. Good to see you.
Hello, Marge.
Tom.
They walk towards the Vaporetto.
Vaporetto,
that's it.
i.e. taxi. So you found Peter.
I think we sort of found each other.
Marge smiles enigmatically. Ripley registers enigmatically. Fuck it.
Where's Dickie's father?
He's not coming till morning. Evidently his stomach. I don't think the food here is agreeing with him.
I was looking forward to seeing him.
Dickie hasn't killed himself. I'm sure of that. It's a private detective on the case now. Mr. McCarran, Dickie's father's employing him.
That's a terrific idea.
He's American. He's already discovered Dickie's cash checks for $1,000 the day before he disappeared.
About the vibrato.
Is that what you do before you jump in the Tiber? I don't think so.
Exterior Ripley's house, Venice Day. The boat arrives at the entrance to the house. Peter opens the door as Ripley collects Marge's bags.
Is this you?
No, it's Tom's. Splendid, eh?
Golly, who's paying for this?
Peter found it for me. I can afford it because it's damp and falling down.
Interior Ripley's house, Venice Day. Marge, entering the living room, is astonished to its grandeur. She walks around as Ripley heads for the bar.
This is spectacular.
That's why Tom wanted you to stay. It's better than squeezing into my room, and I know how you hate hotels.
Hotel would have been fine. We'll have to tell Mr. Greenleaf how far his cellar is stretched. Travis?
Sorry, I just realized. Where are we? Ripley is shaking at the martini. Marge laughs happily, somehow raging. Peter turns.
What's funny?
Oh, no, nothing. I was just thinking about when Tom arrived in Mongi. And now, look at you.
Look at me what?
To the manor born.
Exterior, Piazza San Marco, Venice Day. St. Mark's Square is buzzing with life. Tourist balloon sellers. A man playing saxophone, Herbert Greenleaf, sits in the colonnade on one of the many tables at the Florian Cafe, cradling a glass of hot water. He gets up as Marge and Ripley arrive.
Mr. Greenleaf.
Tom, how are you? You look well.
I am well, thank you.
Far cry from New York.
Yes, it is.
Marge, good morning. Unusual weather. Marge?
She was here a minute ago.
I like the rest of the script. Very.
And you, sir, any better?
Pretty good. Sticking with hot water.
Where's Mr. McCarran?
San Remo. The police are amateurs. Well, my boy, it's come to a pretty pass, hasn't it?
Yes. What's the detective hoping to find in San Remo?
He's being thorough, that's all. I'm learning about my son, Tom, now he's missing. I'm learning a great deal about him. I hope you can fill in some more blanks for me. Marge has been good enough to do that about Mangiabello.
I'll try my best, sir. Obviously, I'll do anything to help Dickie.
Marge looks at him in contempt.
This theory, the letter he left for you, the police think that's a clear indication he was planning on doing something to himself.
I just don't believe that.
You don't want to, dear. I'd like to talk to Tom alone, perhaps this afternoon. Would you mind? Marge, what a man may say to his sweetheart and what he'll admit to another fellow.
Such as?
What a waste of lives and opportunities.
A saxophonist is blaring away in the piazza. Greenleaf suddenly explodes.
I'd pay that fellow $100 right now to shut up.
Interior Ripley's house, afternoon. Herbert Greenleaf sits on a chair. Ripley pours him some tea.
No, Marge doesn't know the half of it.
I think it might hurt her to know.
And his passport photo, did you hear? to scratch out your own face like that. Can you imagine the frame of mind you'd have to be in? I thought about going to the police, but I can't face it. I can't face anything anymore.
I feel guilty. I feel like I pushed him away. I spoke and he heard you.
Well, if we all pushed him away, what about him pushing us away? You've been a great friend to my son. Everything is someone else's fault. We all want to sow wild, oh, somebody's got to know it. What's the word? The moment someone confronts him, he lashes out. He lashes out. You know, people always say you can't choose your parents, but you can't choose your children.
Interior Ripley's house, Venice dusk. Ripley wakes up from an awful, chilly nightmare in his head full of ghosts. He's cramped up in an armchair, his arms sign of futile protection. His door knocked is being repeatedly shaken. He surreptitiously stumbles to the door. It's Peter and Marge.
I'm sorry. I was asleep. I must have fallen asleep.
You look ghastly, Tom. Are you okay?
Dickie's dad go?
He's having an early night.
Poor man. We're knocking on that door forever. I think I've broken my strap.
Not guilty.
I'll fix some drinks.
You walk in Venice?
She takes off her shoe, examining her feet for wear and tear, then disappears into the bedroom. Peter walks over to Ripley, a little concerned.
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
You want me to stick around?
It's okay.
Or I could come back later.
Ripley looks at him. That's never happened. He digs he digs in his pocket, finds his key, gives it to Peter. Peter smiles.
Okay.
Interior Ripley's bedroom, Venice night. Ripley is in the bath. Marge knocks on his door.
Tom?
Marge, I'm in the bath. Won't be long.
Tom, I need to talk to you. It's urgent.
Ripley, irritated, opens the door, his towel wrapped around his waist. Marge is white. She's wearing a robe. She's slightly breathless.
I found Dickie's rings.
What?
You've got Dickie's rings.
I can explain. I can explain.
Dickie promised me he would never take off his ring.
Let me put on some clothes and then we can talk about this.
I have to tell Mr. Greenleaf. I have to tell Mr. Greenleaf. God, I've got
Marge,
to tell Mr. Greenleaf.
calm down. You're being hysterical.
You promised me. You promised me. I swear I'll never take off this ring until the day
Shut up. Shut up.
His towel slips off from his waist.
I'm wet, Marge. I've lost my towel. I'd really like to put my clothes on, so go pour us both a drink, will you?
She goes off, obediently a zombie. He shuts the door immediately. He starts looking for something, anything to kill Marge with. He's got a shoe, but it feels too light. He opens cabinets, drawers, nail scissors, nothing. Then picks up his straight razor and considers it in the mirror. Interior Ripley's sitting room, Venice night. Marge is leaving coat on as Ripley comes out of the bathroom.
Marge, where are you going?
I was looking for a needle and a thread. I wasn't snooping. I was looking for a needle and a thread to mend my bra.
The scent you're wearing. I bought it for you, not Dickie. The thing about Dickie, so many things. The day he was late back from Rome, I tried to tell you this. He was with another girl. I'm not talking about Meredith, another girl we met in the bar. He couldn't be faithful for 5 minutes. So when he makes a promise, it doesn't mean what it means when you make a promise or when I do. He has so many realities, Dickie, and he believes them all. He lies. He lies. That's his, half the time he doesn't even realize.
A small red stain is appearing on the pocket of his robe. As he speaks and the stain spreads, he looks at it absently.
Today, for the first time, I've even wondered whether he might have killed Freddie. He would get so crazy if anybody contradicted him. Well, you know that, Marge. I loved you. You might as well know. I loved you. And because he knew I loved you, he let me think, he let you think I loved him. Didn't you see? Couldn't you see? I don't know. Maybe it's grotesque to say this now. Just write it on a piece of paper or something and keep it in your purse for a rainy day. Tom loves me.
Why do you have Dickie's rings?
His hand goes to his pocket. He's going to have to do it.
Don't you? He gave them to me.
Why? When?
I feel as if you haven't heard anything I've been saying to you.
Don't believe you.
It's all true.
I don't believe a single word you've said.
Marge is shivering. Ripley, anonymous, advances. She retreats.
You're shivering, Marge. Can I hold you? Would you let me hold you?
Marge panics, backed up against the door. She screams and turns straight into the arms of a startled Peter, who's come back to visit Ripley and is unlocking the door. Ripley storms off. His hand comes out of his pocket covered in blood from the razor. Peter notices, appalled.
Tom, are you okay?
You try. You try talking to her.
Tom, tell me what's going on.
I give up.
Interior Ripley house living night. Peter has just put a band-aid over Ripley's cut hand.
You can't be angry with her. She's upset and needs someone to blame. So she blames you. I'll go home and talk to her. As for you, either get a safety razor or grow a beard.
Interior lobby, Europa Regina Hotel, Venice. Morning, Ripley hurries through the gleaming marble entrance. Interior Herbert Greenleaf Suite, Europa Regina Day. Ripley knocks on the door. It's opened by a face he doesn't recognize. A middle-aged, heavy-set man. It's Macron, a private investigator.
Is Mr. Greenleaf here?
Mr. Ripley, I'm Alvin McCarran.
Oh, I don't know. I know it.
Marge, there's female intuition when there are facts.
God damn it, Travis.
Greenleaf, it's not in the script. Greenleaf Suites of the script, Marge, her hair pulled back as if newly widowed. The rings sit glistening on the coffee table. Sorry, I can't help it.
Tom.
Hello, sir. Marge, you should have waited. Didn't Peter tell you I'd come by and pick you up?
Marge has been telling me about the rings.
You know, I feel ridiculous. I didn't mention them yesterday. I completely forgot. Ridiculous.
Perhaps you didn't mention them because there's only one conclusion to be drawn.
Ripley worries about what conclusion it is as Mr. Greenleaf heads into his bedroom.
I'm going to take Marge for a little walk, Tom. Mr. McCarran wants to talk with you.
We could go down to the bar. No need to...
No, he should talk to you alone.
He helps Marge to her feet and leads her out. Ripley is paralyzed. He waits for the door to shut. Aimlessly, he walks onto the terrace with its staggering, beautiful, and indifferent view. Exterior Europa region, the Greenleaf Terrace Day. Ripley stands, steels himself for Macron's charges.
I could see my bedroom from here. If I can see my house. When you see where you live from a distance, it's like a dream, isn't it?
I don't care for BS. I don't care to hear it. I care to speak it.
Okay.
Why do you think Dickie's father sent him to Europe in the first place? Did you know Prince and Dickie Greenleaf half killed a boy?
Ripley turns shocked.
At a party. Over some girl. He kicked the kid several times in the head, put him in the hospital. The boy had a wire fixed in his jaw. The Rome police didn't think to ask Mr. Greenleaf.
Macron gets up.
Nor did they think to check whether a Thomas Ripley had ever been a student at Princeton University. I turned up a Thomas Ripley who'd been a piano tuner in the music department.
Ripley's head drops.
You see, in America, we're taught to check a fact before it becomes a fact. We're taught to nose around when a girl drowns herself, find out if that girl was pregnant, find out if Dickie had an embarrassment there.
Ripley doesn't know where this barrage is going.
Mr. Greenleaf appreciates your loyalty. He really does. Marge, she's got 100 theories, but there are a few things she doesn't know. We hope she never knows.
I hope she never knows.
3 different people saw Dickie get into Freddie Miles' car. A man who won't identify himself because he was jumping someone else's wife at the time saw Dickie removing license plates from a red sports car. The police know about this man because he happens to be a policeman.
He walks out of the room, returns carrying the license plates from Freddie's car.
I found these in the basement of Dickie's apartment. They belong to Freddie's car. Mr. Greenleaf has asked me to lose them in the canal this evening.
People can't believe what he's hearing. It's like a dream.
Mr. Greenleaf also feels there was a silent promise in Dickie's letter to you, which he intends to honor. He intends to transfer a good part of Dickie's income from his trust into your name. He doesn't intend to give the Italian police any information about Dickie's past. He's rather hoping you'll feel the same.
There's a silence in which their strange compact is agreed. Exterior Europa, Regina morning day. Ripley stands in Marge, Mr. Greenleaf and Macaron at the water's edge. Motor launch growling, they shake hands, and then Macaron and Mr. Greenleaf get in the launch. Herbert Greenleaf carries the saxophone case.
I feel I never should have said those things to you the other evening. I was pretty flustered. The rings and you look so, I don't know.
Marge shakes her head to silence him.
But I hope that note goes to New York in your purse for a rainy day.
You're gonna new now, Tom?
I don't know. Peter has a concert in Athens next month, and he's asked if I want to go along, help out. He says goodbye, by the way. He's in rehearsal otherwise.
Why do I think there's never been a rainy Ripley day?
What?
I know it was you. I know it was you, Tom. I know it was you. I know you killed Dickie. I know it was you.
Oh, Marge.
Oh, shit.
78.
78. Oh. Hold on. Oh, Marge. Oh, Marge, can you hear me? You said 78?
Yes.
Oh, Marge. He puts his hand in the control. She pushes it away and starts to lash out at him. The frustration too much so that Ripley has to cover his face. Macaron comes off the boat to restrain her.
Macaron!
Macaron. No, I'm sorry, sir. Ripley looks at him as if to say, what can you do to not screw up these words like I am? She's hysterical. Macaron nods, pulls her onto the boat. Greenleaf catches Ripley's eye guiltily, turns away. They stand silhouetted as the launch revs up and surges off towards open waters, pressing the little fleet off gondolas. Exterior ferry for Athens, Naples day a week later, and Peter and Ripley are on the deck of the ferry, the Hellenes, as it sails towards Greece. They're laughing.
Ask me what I want to change about this moment.
What do you want to change about this moment?
Nothing.
Interior, Peter's cabin desk. Peter's in a bathrobe, organizing his currency. His travelers checks. Ripley knocks on the door, comes in.
Hello. What are you up to?
All kinds of things. Making plans.
Plans? Good. Plans for tonight or plans for the future?
I don't know. Both. My plan right now is to go up on deck, look at the sunset. Come with me.
You go. I don't want to get dressed yet. Come back, though. Come back. You know, you look so relaxed. Like a completely different person.
Well, that's entirely your fault. And if I fall overboard, that'll be your fault too.
Exterior deck of the Hellenes sunset. Ripley stands on the deck staring at the magnificent sunset. Then a voice shakes him from his Reverie, yeah, I know. It's that kind of night.
Dickie.
He turns, he's Dickie.
Dickie, oh my God. Travis.
Hello, Meredith.
I was looking at you, your clothes. I wouldn't have known you.
Well, you've spotted me, so you get the reward.
What?
Just kidding. Are you alone?
Hardly. I couldn't be less alone.
Meredith points to the upper deck balcony where two older couples are walking around the deck.
Of course. Aunt Joan.
Oh my God, my Nana's name is Joan. Sorry, I'm broken. Okay, that's dumb. This whole entire script is just dumb. Oh, it's great. And Co. Lots of Co. Oh God, I've thought about you so much.
And I've thought about you.
And now he's thinking, I can't kill them all.
When I thought about you, I was mostly hating you. And Aunt Joan, Nana Joan, where have you been hiding?
I haven't been hiding. I've been in police custody. They've been trying to flesh out Freddie's killer.
You're kidding.
They're letting me have this vacation, which is why the getup, which is why you haven't heard from me.
You know, the whole world thinks you killed Freddie. Well, I think it's terrible.
I know. So look, I can't talk now. Later? Later.
They're full of future.
Damn it, Travis. So are you traveling under R?
You know what? I am.
Dickie, are you with Peter Smith Kingsley? I bet you are. My aunt thought that she saw him.
Peter Smith Kingsley? I haven't seen him in months. No, I'm alone.
Interior Peter's cabin night. Peter's working on his score, lying on his front. Apparently engrossed. Ripley knocks and enters, looks long at Peter.
How was it?
Good, but I think we should stay in here for the rest of the trip.
Was that Meredith?
Was who Meredith?
Meredith Logue. You were kissing somebody. Looked like Meredith.
Hardly kissing. Kissing off.
Didn't look that way. You know, from a distance.
I lied. To her. She thought she'd seen you.
Why lie?
Dickie and Peter. That's just too good gossip, isn't it?
Or Tom and Peter even.
Yeah, that would be even better gossip.
Really? Why? Sorry, I'm completely lost.
No, I'm lost too. Oh, I'm gonna be stuck in the basement, aren't I? That's my terrible and alone and dark. And I've lied about who I am and where I am. And so nobody can ever find me.
What do you mean lied about who you are?
I suppose I always thought better to be a fake somebody than a real nobody.
What are you talking about? You're not a nobody. That's the last thing you are.
Peter, I
have the key.
He sits on the bed.
Tell me some good things about Tom Ripley. Don't get up. Just tell me some nice things.
He sits on the bed, leans against Peter. His eyes are brimming with tears. He takes the cord from Peter's robe and begins twisting it in his hands.
Good things about Tom Ripley. It takes some time. Tom is talented. Tom is tender. Tom is beautiful.
You're such a liar.
Tom is a mystery.
Ripley is pressing against him, moving up his body, kissing his shoulders, the cord wrapped tight in his hands. Interior Ripley's cabin night. Ripley returns to his cabin, sits on the bed, desolate.
Tom is not a nobody. Tom has secrets he doesn't want to tell me, and I wish he would. Tom has nightmares. That's not a good thing. Tom has someone to love him. That is a good thing. Tom is crushing me. Tom is crushing me. Tom, you're crushing me.
The door of his closet flips open with the swell, and he catches his reflection. It swings shut, open, then shut through the porthole, the weather changing as the light dies. The swell of the horizon rises and falls in the round glass. Ripley, alone in a nightmare of his own making. The end. I thought we were doing the lullaby for a second.
No, we didn't find someone to sing the lullaby, but thank you guys for doing such a great job. What a lovely Ripley cast. And thank you guys for watching our reading of The Talented Mr. Ripley.